Greetings participants, welcome back to the Game Dev Arena. As you saw from my last video, I was talking about how I got a swiping motion set up for on-screen swipes, like for a mobile phone, swiping stuff on the phone. So I'm actually going to go through and do a little setup on getting that exact mechanic shown on the screen, and then I'm going to do a little short that will show it on an actual phone screen. So let's go ahead and get into it. So right now I got a collection and I got a script set up that we're going to be using. As far as an object, let's see, let's do a game object, and we're just going to use a system sprite just for the sake of making this quick. So, because I don't think I have any other assets in here, so yeah, so I just use the particle blob. And that'll work out perfectly. All right, so essentially what's going to happen, or at least how I'm going to have it set up, is the particle blob is going to be in the middle of the screen, and we'll go through and have it move with the swiping script that we're going to add. So add component file, swiping script. All right, so now let's go in and we're going to do all the adjustments on here. So first and foremost, what I want is create a speed variable, put it at 100. And then we're getting input. So you always want to make sure you do that post for acquiring your input focus. So that way on input, anything within the on input, as it says here, anything within on input, as long as you, so we got that. We don't need the acquire. A final function here, we want to set the direction, set a direction flag, and just have all of it at 0. So we're going to set the position, get the position of our asset, plus self.direction times speed times delta time. And that will allow us basically to get that movement for our character. So now we're going to go through. We don't need fix update. We're not using any on message. Just purely working on input. So get out of there, get out of there. So like I said, and then we're going through and setting up the actual touch. So if action pressed, and we'll just do a little, actually I like to put labels in, so we'll create a label. I found doing this has been a little bit more beneficial with getting feedback directly, like as you're in the actual game, is just creating a label and using that, like the text of the label, to kind of do like a little print message, but without having to print to the console here. I can just see it on the screen as I'm going through in the game. So 2 enters. All right, so here, and then we do label, set the text, and got label game object. Well, if I can type, getting the correct address to our label. So label, label. So I could also have done that too. Just copy and paste it. And then we'll set the text to say least end, end. Then you would go through, you would open up the game, and if you clicked on the screen, if you're using a computer, you click on the screen and you would see that label that we put underneath our particle blob saying whether. So we see our little blob as we have our project open. We see the little blob here. See that little tiny little blob. So now if I click on my mouse, all right, so right now it's showing something is incorrect. So let me go back in. So I kind of went off screen and just started rifling through a few things, and actually do believe I figured out that I haven't actually achieved a swiping action, but I have achieved a touch action to where you press the top of the screen and the game object will move up. You press the bottom of the screen and the game object will move down. So in order to achieve that, basically what I have done is, you'll see I took out my labels, my label printers, because I don't need them at this point. But basically you're seeing, which we don't need this else statement. So basically we're seeing the same thing, that when the distance is greater than the pressed Y axis point to the release axis point, is if the distance is greater, then it's 1. If the distance is smaller, then it's 1, -1 to 1. Basically saying -1 will move things up and 1 will move things down. So there's that. And still we have in the update section, because we do have our self-direction being set for the game object position with the speed, we want to reset the Y, so that way when things have stopped on the input side, that the Y axis will revert back to 0, so the game object will stop. So we'll go in, we'll check out the project one last time and kind of get a feel on seeing the presses being up and down. Like I said, unfortunately, it's not a swipe, so I got more to work on with that, but still got a little something available for you all. So let's go ahead and open up the project one more time and check out the actual movement, at least, of a game object through touching of the screen. And now we have our project built. You'll see that the game object I made a little bit bigger, just so you have a better idea. Once again, you won't see the labels, but you get the arrow at the top of the screen, the game object will move up. Once I let go of the mouse, the game object stops. I go to the bottom of the screen, game object moves down, and I let go of the mouse and the game object stops. So it's more so a touch than an actual swipe. So I need to do a little bit more research on figuring out a swipe. But I mean, that is a good start. I am going to keep trying to get a swipe. So unfortunately, this is a fail in terms of swipes, but it is a plus in terms of being able to have on-screen touch controls for your game. So leave a like if you're able to get that to work, as in terms of being able to have the game object move up and down through presses on the screen. And leave a comment if you have any issues. And I will keep working on trying to get an actual swipe to work. But in the meantime, we still got touches, so I mean, that's still something. But yeah, I'll keep working on trying to get a swipe in there. And once I do, I will, of course, post a video. Thanks for watching, and tune back next time.